This is the multi-voice text-to-speech podfic reading of Defiance and Desire by residentgaybitch, composed by Burning Aurora and Kelana. James and Sirius sit cross-legged on the floor of their dormitory, quill and parchment between them, and lolly wrappers scattered around. Sirius taps his chin, listening as James reads out everything on the list so far, all things that would absolutely piss his mother off and have her rolling into an early grave if she ever found out about them. There are a lot of things on this list so far.
How about mooning the crowd at the next Quidditch match?
Sirius suggests. James bursts out laughing.
Merlin, Sirius. That will have Dumbledore rolling into an early grave.
Good.
Sirius grinned.
What would Minnie say?
Probably. Detention for the rest of my life.
He chuckled.
Oh, Minnie. Love her.
James cracked a bright smile and wrote it down.
What else?
Sirius hummed.
I need as many as possible. It betters the chances of them getting back to her.
James thought for a moment, fixing his glasses.
You could, shag a Muggle-born, or like a half-blood or something.
Sirius nodded.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I've done it, but I suppose I could do it a few more times.
Oh, yeah.
James grumbled, forgetting about Sirius's history with girls.
Ooh, you could shag a bloke. That would really send her.
Sirius's eyes widened.
Hey, bloke.
James nodded.
Yeah, like, you know.
He shrugged.
I'd offer, but I'm a happily committed man, Sirius.
Sirius bit his lip, thinking about it for a moment.
Add it to the list. I'll consider it.
James grinned and hurried to scribble it down.
Shagging. A criminal would work too. That also goes under the category of becoming a criminal, because, you know, conspiring with them and all that.
Ooh, yeah, I'd shag a criminal.
Or like a creature or something.
I'm not shagging an animal, James.
James laughed.
No, like a vampire or something, you know, or a werewolf.
Oh, yeah.
Sirius nodded.
That could be cool.
Yeah, hot, right?
Sirius shrugged.
I suppose. I like the Muggle vampire romance books, so...
James sighed and wrote it down.
Oh, look at that.
He hummed to himself, his tone a little playful, a little curious.
A half-blood criminal, a creature, a bloke.
He chuckled.
You could just shag Mooney.
Mooney.
Sirius asked, looking down at the parchment. James shrugged.
You'd be killing like 4 birds with 1 stone. Your mother would be beside herself.
He laughed.
I'm just playing fun, Sirius. Obviously you're not going to go shag Mooney. It's not like you're both gay or anything.
Sirius nodded his head.
Yeah, it would be funny, though.
Yeah.
James sighed, looking back at the parchment.
Ooh, let the girls do your makeup and go have dinner in the Great Hall in a dress.
Sirius gasped.
Oh, James, you're brilliant.
Sirius swings lazily on his chair, one leg propped up on his bedside table, and the other just his toes touching the ground. His hair is tied back all messily, and he's got his tie loose around his neck and a few buttons on his shirt undone. He's humming to himself, watching the record spin and spin and spin on the table until it comes to a scratchy stop. With an effortless swish of his wand, the record lifts itself up and slots itself away into the Ziggy Stardust sleeve on the shelf. And then he groans, throwing his head back and exposing his long, pale neck. Remus is going insane.
I'm so bored.
He whines.
Why'd you have to make my detention so late?
To further punish you, I suppose. James shrugged.
You know, you should be thanking me. If I didn't take the fall for you, Prongsy boy, you'd be the bored one right now.
And I'll forever be grateful for it, Schnookums.
James laughs, bouncing over to kiss Sirius sloppily on his forehead. Sirius yelps and nearly falls out of his chair, swatting James away.
You're disgusting.
No, you are...
James says, tapping Sirius on the end of his nose like a sappy couple would, going back and forth about who's cuter. Sirius rolls his eyes and smiles anyway.
I'll see you later.
James calls.
Gotta go do my rounds with Lily.
Bye.
Sirius waves and goes back to his chair, swinging. Remus barely mutters his goodbye as he watches, and James laughs to himself as he leaves. It's just them two now, alone, in their dorm. James out for the next few hours, Peter no doubt distractedly talking with the girls for hours on end. Remus should go down and join them, he said he would, but, well, right now he'd rather watch Sirius swing on his chair. Besides, Sirius has to leave for his detention soon, so he can join them later. Sirius huffs, and a shiny strand of hair flies up out of his face. It slowly settles back down, and then Sirius blows it back up into the air again. He does this a few more times until it falls off the side of his face and out of reach, and Remus watches, entranced the whole time.
Moonshine.
Sirius asks, eyes squinting as he looks out the window. He's tracking a bird as it loops around the sky.
Yes.
Remus squeaks out, then clears his throat and deepens his voice.
Yes.
Sirius shrugs.
Would you ever be interested in shagging?
Remus feels his cheeks go red.
What?
Shagging.
Sirius asks, turning to look at Remus, and it's mortifying.
Like sex, fucking, you know.
Yes.
Remus nods.
Yes, who isn't interested in sex?
He laughs nervously.
Me, I suppose.
Sirius sighs, looking back up at the roof.
I do it a lot, I suppose. Or well, not that much. But, more than you or Pete and the girls and stuff.
Right.
Remus nods.
But it's not that great. If I never shagged again, I wouldn't care.
Really?
He asks, curious.
Yeah, sure. Girls are gorgeous and all, but,
Remus swallows.
Yeah.
He shrugs.
It's just slimy down there. And I don't understand the whole boob thing. I suppose it's not really normal, so I just ignore it. But I don't go out of my way to shag a girl unless she asks,
Sure.
Remus says because he very much knows, or, well, not really. He knows he wouldn't shag a girl no matter what, because he doesn't like girls. So he gets that, but he doesn't really understand if Sirius is implying the same circumstance or not.
Have you ever shagged anyone, Remus?
No.
He swallows.
Never.
Oh.
Sirius nods.
But you want to?
Yes.
Remus nods back. Sirius seems to think about this for a moment, humming to himself in quiet contemplation, and Remus just watches. He has no idea what he's feeling right now, other than downright confused and so fucking intrigued.
Would you ever shag me?
Remus chokes. He starts coughing and spluttering, cheeks red and eyes wide.
Sorry.
Sirius shrugs.
Sorry.
He laughs.
Didn't mean to catch you off guard like that, but would you ever shag me?
Remus rubs his forehead.
I don't...
Just, how James and I are finding things to piss my mother off.
Yeah.
Well, we thought it would be good if I shagged a bloke, and a creature, a criminal, and a half-blood.
Sirius smiled.
You're an unregistered half-blood werewolf with a cock, so...
Bloody hell, Sirius.
Remus looks at him, absolutely gobsmacked. Lily will go crazy when he tells her about this conversation.
What?
Sirius shrugged.
It's not like I'm gay or anything. I just know it would piss her off.
Well, that's disappointing.
So yeah, do you want to shag?
Are you serious?
Sirius smirked.
I know.
He scoffed, laughing into his hands as he hid behind them.
Are you genuinely asking me to fuck right now, Sirius?
Yeah.
Sirius smiled.
Just a bit of fooling around. It doesn't have to mean anything. And I know we're both not gay, so it's cool. It doesn't have to be weird.
Right.
Remus nods because he's not gay. No, not at all.
Besides, imagine the bragging rights.
Sorry.
Remus hummed.
Well, I can say I fucked a werewolf. And a criminal, which is pretty cool.
He grinned.
And you can say you fucked Sirius Black.
Oh, you cocky bastard.
Remus groaned. Sirius laughed.
Imagine it. One of those girls in the halls bragging to their friends about how I've been inside them. And what? You'd just be able to say you've been inside me. Something they'd never be able to say.
Remus's eyebrows furrowed.
I'd be inside you.
Well, yeah.
Sirius shrugged.
Oh, unless you prefer it the other way around. I just think I'd prefer if you fucked me is all.
Remus's brain is short-circuiting. He's beginning to question whether or not Sirius is as straight as he claims.
When you said shag, I assumed you mean handjobs.
Oh.
Sirius nodded, looking a little disappointed, actually.
Oh, yeah, we can just do handjobs if you want.
No, that's okay.
Remus cleared his throat.
I can do that if you'd like.
Oh, Moons. You don't have to just do it if you don't want. I don't want to make you uncomfortable.
Sirius smiled so prettily.
No, it's okay, yeah,
Remus looked away for a moment, unable to believe he was actually having this conversation.
I'll fuck you.
Oh, brilliant.
Sirius grinned.
You're really the best, Remus. Like my favorite person in the world. Mother will be so pissed if she ever found out. And don't worry, I'm not just going to go tell her. It's just the idea of it.
Right.
Remus nods.
So, I've got detention, so we can't do it now. How about tonight?
Remus stops himself mid-sentence and looks at Sirius aghast.
Yeah.
Sirius hummed.
James will have his date thing in the astronomy tower by the time I get back from detention, so we just have to get Peter out of the room somehow.
Leave it to me.
Remus says.
I'll figure it out. We're good mates, so I'll sort it.
Oh, Moonbeam, you really are the best.
Sirius smiles, hopping up out of his chair and bouncing over to pet Remus on the top of his head.
Really, I owe you big time.
Yeah.
Remus blushed and ducked his head, watching Sirius waltz out of the room, humming a happy tune.
Holy shit, guys,
Remus plops himself down on the couch between Mary and Marlene. Lily is sitting on the floor against Mary's legs, and Pete's sitting across from her. They're playing Snap.
I think I'm going to have sex with Sirius.
All four of them went dead silent, turning slowly to look at him. Remus swallows and looks up.
He wants to piss of his parents, and apparently secretly having sex with me is the perfect way to do that.
What?
Peter gasps.
Yeah, my thoughts exactly were me.
Remus muttered.
We're going to shag tonight. He wants me to shag him tonight.
Merlin.
Lily grins, looking up at him.
Oh, Remus.
Remus bites his lip, blushing.
Pete, you reckon you can clear the room tonight?
Trust me, I'm staying as far away as possible.
Peter laughed.
Bloody hell, I owe James 10 galleons. I really didn't think that would work.
You planned this?
Remus asked.
Wait, you bet on this?
Peter looked at him deadpan.
I've already made 50 galleons from winning bets on Sirius. He's so predictable. Obviously, I bet on this.
Remus sighs and sinks down into the sofa.
I'm going to have sex with Sirius tonight.
He looks around at them all.
How do you have sex?
Oh, Remus.
Lily mused. It's just them, just Remus and Sirius. The moment he got back from detention, James was waltzing out of the room with a cheerful grin, off to his date, and Pete was following right after in hopes of finding Marlene. So they're alone already, which makes things so much easier for Sirius.
Thanks.
He smiles.
For sorting Pete out.
No problem.
Remus nodded.
He was going to hang out with Marlene anyway.
Oh, cool.
Sirius said, starting to feel a little awkward.
So I don't really know how this works.
Me either, I suppose.
Remus swallowed.
I did some research, though. Figured out some stuff.
Oh, moons.
Sirius smiled. He really is the most grateful for Remus. He really is the best. He just feels so much admiration for him all the time.
You're such a good friend.
Yep.
Remus nods.
Such a good friend.
So, are we just doing the sex bit or foreplay too?
Sirius asked, hoping Remus votes for foreplay. Sirius is good at foreplay. It's his strong suit. It's the part he likes the best of sex, so he doesn't want to make it weird by not enjoying any of this. But foreplay is what people do when they like each other, most of the time. So Sirius would understand if Remus says no to it. It would be extra disappointing, but he'd get it.
Foreplay.
Remus's eyes widen.
Yeah, kissing and all that.
He shrugs.
Undressing each other.
Remus swallows.
Sure.
He says, and for some reason his voice just got higher. Sirius likes when Remus's voice does that. It's funny, and it makes him feel kind of good, proud in a way, but he doesn't know why.
Oh, cool.
Sirius nods, acting all nonchalant when really he's feeling very happy inside.
We have to use lube.
Oh.
Sirius furrowed his brow. Girls don't need lube. He really knows less about this sex stuff than he thought.
Right. Well, I think we have some of that butter left from the prank.
Not butter.
Remus cuts in, laughing at him.
Definitely not butter, Sirius. It's going inside you.
Oh, yuck. I don't want butter in my arse.
He grimaced.
Yeah, I don't really want it on me either.
Remus laughed.
Like sex lube.
Oh.
Sirius nodded.
What's that? Can we make it?
No.
Remus smiled, turning to his bedside drawer.
It's just gel stuff, I guess. Here.
He tossed a little tube over to Sirius. It's see-through and has a transparent slime inside.
Oh, where'd you get this on such short notice? It's half empty.
Remus went red again. Sirius likes when he makes Remus go red.
'Cause I use it.
I thought you didn't have sex.
I don't.
Remus splutters.
It's for wanking.
Sirius looked down at the tube, then over at Remus's crotch.
Oh, really? I don't need lube when I wank. I mean, not that I wank very often, but it's always wet enough when I do.
Remus's eyes widened, and he just stared at Sirius for a moment.
Right.
Sirius shrugged.
This sex stuff is interesting.
You'll also have to be fingered.
Remus gritted out.
Can you finger blokes?
He asks, genuinely baffled as he flips the bottle of lube around in his hand absent-mindedly. Remus nods.
Oh, I didn't know that. Why?
To make it, big enough.
Remus nods.
You know, for...
He waved his hands warily around his crotch.
Oh yeah, I suppose it's kind of a small hole, hey?
Sirius hummed, the pieces slotting into place now.
Cool.
Yeah, cool.
So, I haven't kissed a bloke before, but I've kissed girls.
Sirius smiled.
Have you kissed a bloke before? I know you've kissed a couple girls.
Remus nods.
I kissed Peter once.
Sirius immediately does not like that. He doesn't know why, but that's just weird. It's just so weird. Remus has kissed Peter. What the fuck?
What?
Yeah, we made out once.
Remus cuts himself off, giving Sirius an unsure look. Sirius knows it's because he's scowling. He's not even ashamed of it. Remus and Peter made out. How fucking weird. That's just fucking weird. That's so gross. That's so... Oh, is Sirius homophobic? Oh, Sirius really doesn't want to be homophobic. A lot of his friends are gay. That would be really bad if he was homophobic. He huffs and looks at the ground.
Did it mean anything?
No.
Remus says immediately,
The girls just dared us one day, since they've all kissed each other. It was just stupid. Didn't mean anything. Never will. Never has.
Oh, cool.
Sirius nods, some of the weight lifting off of his shoulders. The thought still makes him a little queasy, but less so now. Perhaps shagging a bloke will make him less homophobic. He really hopes it will. He feels really terrible. His whole life, he's been running from the man his parents tried to shape him into. And yet, the shadow lingers. It's terrifying.
So, do we just kiss?
Remus is still for a moment, and he's looking at Sirius kind of strangely. Sirius doesn't know what to do with himself, in all honesty. He never does under Remus's gaze. It's always so intense, it makes him nervous, fiddly, giggly. Oh yeah, Remus makes him so giggly. He's fighting the urge to giggle like a child now. Remus is just... he's looking at him, really looking. Sirius feels so special when Remus looks at him because he knows Remus doesn't look at anyone else like this. No, this look is reserved especially for Sirius, and that's just... well, isn't that just delightful? But he really doesn't want to giggle right now. He's trying so hard not to, because that would be embarrassing. He feels like a girl, which is so weird and so dumb, because why would he ever feel like that?
Do you want to kiss?
Remus asked back eventually.
Yes.
Sirius says, without a thought, mouth on autopilot, apparently. And that's probably a good thing, because his brain is kind of a bit useless at the moment. So much is going on up there, yet there are no thoughts at all. He nods his head for assurance.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay.
Remus smiled and took a couple of steps closer. Sirius looked at the gap between them. There wasn't much of one, but he certainly wasn't close enough to comfortably kiss. So Sirius took the final step, the baggy wool of Remus's sweater brushing up against the buttons of Sirius's shirt.
Hi there.
Sirius murmured into the small space between them. If he leant forward just a smidgen, their noses would bump together.
Hi.
Remus smiles, his cheeks flushing a really adorable pink color, flushed under freckles and scars. Sirius really doesn't know how Remus doesn't get girls, because he thinks Remus is quite attractive. Well, sure, he's not dashing in the way Sirius effortlessly is, and he's not cute in the way Peter is, and he's certainly not stoically handsome like James. But he's attractive in his own little way, in the Remus way, the way that he's just really handsome because he simply is, and everyone should just agree because Sirius knows. Besides, he looks really cute when he's about to get kissed. All up close and personal, honey golden eyes barely visible behind the dilation in his pupils, flushed cheeks smattered under a galaxy of freckles, silver scars that are just so intrinsically Remus, pert lips that look Sirius can't think. He's too distracted to think. Point is, Remus is damned attractive, and it's appalling that not more people think so. Remus huffs and bites his lip, and Sirius can feel his eyes searching all over Sirius's face, but he can't help but stare at the place between Remus's front teeth, the plush skin, it's so pink and shiny. He's just so cute. Sirius boops their noses together. Remus almost giggles. Sirius kisses him. It's so much better than kissing girls. Honestly, Remus must have been practicing because he's just really good at this whole kissing thing. Maybe there's a spell or something that makes you really good. Whatever it is, Remus is it. They're not even making out, and it's just so much better than every girl he's ever kissed. Ever. Remus is really just such a good mate, isn't he? Gosh, Sirius really thinks so. Remus shuffles a little closer and tips his head to the side slightly, opening his mouth and sliding his tongue along the seam of Sirius's own lips. It's so well done, his smoothness, that Sirius breaks out in goosebumps. Once this is all over, Sirius will have to tell Remus that he really is just so good at all this kissing stuff. He's really that good that Sirius kind of just wants to keep him to himself, like a little trophy that only he gets to have. No one else should be allowed to be graced with such good kissing skills, because honestly, Sirius doesn't think any girl out there would be able to properly appreciate it. It's so good when Remus slips some tongue into Sirius's mouth and reaches up to tug Sirius in by the belt loops that he moans. He actually moaned, and he's not even embarrassed because Remus needs to know just how good at this he is. Remus tugs him closer, and Sirius lifts his hands to grab at the back of Remus's neck and tug at the jumper over his shoulder because something has just come over him. Something wild, some primal need or something to just tear Remus's clothes off and have him. He blames Padfoot. They shuffle back to Sirius's bed until Remus's knees buckle and he flops down onto it. Sirius shoves himself into Remus's lap, straddling him and pressing close, which just feels so good. Like Remus really doesn't know how good he is. He must be some sex god or something. How Remus hasn't had sex yet, Sirius doesn't know. But what he does know is that Remus is so fucking wonderful, and Sirius doesn't want to share. How strange is that? Remus's bony fingers reach up to undo the buttons on Sirius's shirt, but before he can even get halfway, Sirius is yanking Remus's jumper up and off his body in a rush.
So good.
He mutters, leaning in to kiss Remus again. He starts shoving off his own shirt before Remus can do the last button.
Oh, you're really good at this, Mooney.
Remus moans against his mouth, and wow, holy Godric, that's really a wonderful sound. How are his moans even that brilliant? This really isn't fair. How is Sirius ever supposed to be so good in bed? He really hopes he doesn't let Remus down.
Fuck.
Remus mumbles, latching his lip onto Sirius's throat and groaning when Sirius digs his nails into Remus's shoulders.
You're so hot.
Sirius flushes all over, and he dips back down to kiss Remus again. He can't help but giggle.
Please, 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 please.
Sirius is mumbling, actually completely naked underneath Remus, which is it's really a sight to behold. It's an image which will be imprinted in Remus's mind for the rest of eternity. Remus can't help but duck down to kiss him right on the lips because Sirius seems to actually really love that. He actually seems to really love a lot of things involving Remus sexually. Remus moans, his hips pressing down against Sirius's. The friction from that alone is far better than anything he conjures up in his mind and creates with his own right hand at night.
Yeah.
He nods.
Yeah, do you want to do it yourself?
Do what?
Sirius gasps, bucking his hips up when Remus doesn't grind down again.
Finger yourself.
Remus says bluntly because there's really no other way to say it.
Oh,
Sirius's eyes fly open, and they flick around Remus's face for a bit before he flushes more than he already has and smiles.
Can you do it? I don't really know what I'm doing, and I'll just probably like it more if you did. You're like, really bloody good at this sex stuff.
Remus knows for a fact that he is not really bloody good at this sex stuff. He's never even done it before, and he's being really awkward as he always is. The first kiss they shared he was so stiff for, and he literally opened his mouth and shoved his tongue out really weirdly because he was just so shocked by Sirius actually doing this. He knows that was a terrible kiss, but Sirius just kept kissing him anyway. And then Sirius kind of took the lead there a little and gave Remus some time to figure it out, thankfully. So yeah, Remus knows he's so fucking bad at this. He knows Sirius has been with a good handful of girls who are confident and experienced and way nicer to look at, and yet Sirius won't stop banging on about how fucking good Remus is at all of this, how his mouth is fucking magic, and how he's making Sirius all tingly. It's like a dream, a real dream brought to life or something. Remus really pinched himself at one moment to make sure he wasn't actually dreaming it up. But no, it's real, and Sirius is enjoying it, and Sirius wants Remus to finger him, and Sirius wants to have sex with Remus. Remus is almost certain that Sirius just isn't actually into girls at this point, or at the very least is into guys in one way or another. Remus grabs the lube from under Sirius's back, where he'd landed on it a while ago when taking off his trousers. He pops the cap and squeezes a big glob of lube onto his fingers before spreading it around a little. Sirius gazes up at him. His legs are slightly open, spread around Remus's own knees, all just naked for him. His gaze is heavy-lidded, and Remus fights the urge to look further downward.
Just be nice, yeah.
Sirius asks, a finger reaching out to draw over a scar on Remus's middle.
I haven't been fingered or anything before, so do you think it will hurt?
Remus shakes his head.
I did it to myself once. If you go slow, it doesn't. I'll go slow.
Okay.
Sirius blushes again.
You really are the best, Moonshine.
Merlin, that name. Oh, Remus is starting to lose it. He's actually going to lose his mind about it. It's bad enough as is when Sirius calls him that just out and about. It makes his heart race and his stomach fill with butterflies. But here, now, well, Remus is going to implode. He's so fucking into Sirius, it's sickening.
Thanks.
Remus mutters, reaching a sticky finger down between Sirius's legs.
Can I?
Yeah.
Sirius breathes, his eyes falling shut.
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, Mooney, you're so good at this.
Remus's brain melts a little more because he hasn't actually done anything. Really, his finger is just sitting there, only the very tip of it has pushed inside, and Sirius is there, acting like Remus is just about to make him come. Sirius really can't be straight. He's either really good at faking it or really, really gay. Remus hopes for the latter.
What about that? Hurt?
No.
Sirius hums, smiling to himself as he turns his head into the pillows, his hands gripping the sheets.
No, it's good. Oh, Moonbeam, you'd never hurt me. Never hurt me, baby. So good.
Remus has suddenly lost all coherent thought. Sirius feels euphoric. Really, he wishes he had sex with Remus earlier, because this is just fucking brilliant. Remus is really just so good. When Sirius has sex with girls, he feels kinda good physically a lot. Like his cock likes it, he supposed. But it's usually really boring. It's just not all that great. He doesn't get why James likes sex so much. But like, with Mooney, well, everything is great. He's just really good at it, and he must know exactly what he's doing, because no matter what, it just makes Sirius feel so amazing. Physically and emotionally, like everywhere. He feels like a live wire.
Remus.
He stutters out, because he's not very good at talking anymore. He's mostly just loudly moaning and stuff. Like it's so loud that Remus actually stopped midway through to cast a silencing charm so people outside the dorm wouldn't hear.
Oh, fuck, Remus. Please, can you just fuck me?
Shit.
Remus moans.
For fuck, yeah, you sure you want that?
Sirius nods because if Remus fingering him is this good, then he really wants to find out about the rest of it.
Yeah, please.
Sirius said.
Really, really, please, Mooney, baby. Oh, fuck, you're so good at,
Fucking, okay, yeah.
Remus chokes out, pulling his hand away from Sirius. He can't help but whine about it, feeling so cold and empty. He reaches out to cling to Remus, but all he gets are glorious, sweaty, scarred thighs. He lifts his head when he hears a wet sound and watches Remus smear some lube over himself, quite entranced by it. He watches the slick glide of Remus's wonderful hands and wishes it was himself between those magical fingers. Remus comes closer, and Sirius immediately grabs for him. His arms sling around Remus's neck, fingers sifting in through hair and clawing at his back.
Oh, Mooney.
Sirius moans, kissing him as much as Remus will let him.
Please. Oh, you're so... Oh, Remus.
Bloody hell, Sirius.
Remus grunts, pressing in as close as he can. His whole body shivers as he slowly sinks down, Sirius whining helplessly in his ear. He can't help it. It feels so fucking good, just like he thought.
Oh, fuck, you're so hot, so fucking... Oh, fuck.
Sirius can't stop kissing everywhere. Anywhere his lips can reach, he's attaching himself to Remus. It really is quite delightful, getting fucked by his sex god best friend. He thinks about recommending it to James, but thankfully James is a committed man. Then perhaps Peter, but no, they've already kissed. They've done enough. Besides, Sirius is apparently homophobic about that, so he probably shouldn't suggest it. Maybe he'll just tell everyone Remus is really bad so no one else goes and fucks him. Yeah, that sounds good. No one else gets to have him, only Sirius. He's probably a really bad friend for that, but, well, he doesn't really care right now because Remus is just making him feel so good, like really lucky. Sirius is clinging to Remus like he's his lifeline. It's probably the best feeling in the world. And yes, that includes the feeling of being balls deep inside Sirius. Both are fucking amazing, but being clung to by Sirius beats it by just a smidgen. He's shaking, actually, so much to the point that Remus had thought he'd done something wrong. But no, Sirius has assured him it's purely because he just feels fucking amazing, that Remus is doing a bang-on job. Really, Remus isn't sure why Sirius keeps saying such things. Like, sure, now it's fine because Remus has found a rhythm and gotten more comfortable doing this, but he was so awkward those first few thrusts. They were miscalculated and kind of desperate and just not very good, he could tell. But still, Sirius had said it's the best feeling ever. Remus doesn't know what to do with himself, so he just lets his body do whatever the hell it needs, and what it needs is to make Sirius finish, and apparently to say dumb shit he's gonna regret later.
You're so fucking pretty, baby.
He mutters, kissing Sirius between each few words.
So good, so gorgeous, feels so good, so good. Oh, you're just so good, so...
Remus reels back because Sirius is thrashing almost violently and is getting louder, and Remus looks down to find white smeared all over Sirius's stomach. Sirius doesn't give Remus time to process that before he's pulling him down into a deep kiss and thrusting his own hips up to meet Remus's.
Thank you.
Sirius is muttering on repeat, smattering kisses everywhere on Remus's face as he chases his own.
Oh, so good, Moonshine. You're so good. Too good to me.
Remus presses their foreheads together as he comes and kisses Sirius midway through. When he pulls away, Sirius is dazed. He has a faraway, dreamy look in his eyes and a relaxed smile on his lips. His cheeks are bright pink, a stark contrast to his pale complexion, and his skin shimmers with sweat. Oh, he really is just so fucking pretty.
Fuck.
Remus grunts, shifting until he's laying down beside Sirius, both on their backs, shoulders overlapped. Sirius whines as Remus slips away and shivers slightly. Remus grabs his jumper off the pillow and lays it over Sirius's chest like a blanket. He hums and closes his eyes. Remus cleans them both up, reaching the end of the box of tissues on Sirius's bedside. But they're clean, so it's fine. They lie there in silence for a while. Remus feels the moment Sirius comes to again, stiffening beside him. It's awkward, tense. Slowly, Sirius shucks Remus's jumper off his chest, and they both lie there, completely naked, staring at the roof. They hear James and Peter come into the room.
Told you.
Don't believe you.
James muttered back.
Pads, mate, you in here?
James, they're probably having a meaningful conversation.
Peter huffs.
Look at the curtains.
Well, I want to see him.
You can later.
Peter offers.
Sirius, if you want James to come in, say something back.
Don't come in.
Sirius shouts, and silence lingers outside.
See, he doesn't want you to.
Peter says after a while.
Completely silent.
The charm must still be on.
Remus muttered.
Oh,
Sirius nodded.
Fine.
James groaned.
Come to my bed later, Sirius. I'm going to sleep.
Sirius and Remus lie there for a while, listening to James and Peter get ready for bed. Honestly, Remus is glad Peter didn't say anything to James about them having sex. Or well, he doesn't think he said anything. Not that he'd be mad if James found out Remus is gay. He's pretty sure James already knows. But he's sure Sirius would want to tell him about that. Sirius would probably have some strange things to say about it. So it's best if Sirius is the one to lay it all out there. Once the room goes silent again, and the lights are all turned out, they dare a glance over at each other. Just as quickly, they look away. Remus starts to feel a little guilty. He knows how he feels about Sirius, and Sirius clearly hadn't felt the same way, at least not prior to now. So he decides to bite the fucking bullet, despite his own judgment, and confesses.
I like that.
yeah, me too.
Sirius nodded, eyes fixed on the roof.
Felt good. You made me come really hard.
Merlin, he really doesn't make anything easy for Remus, does he?
Yeah,
Remus nods.
but I liked it in a gay way.
Sirius tenses beside him again.
'Cause I'm gay.
Remus fills in, refusing to look anywhere but the stupid poster of a half-naked motorbike girl on Sirius's ceiling.
And I like you.
You like me.
Sirius mumbles.
Yeah,
Remus breathes.
a lot. I think you're brilliant. You're really, really fucking brilliant, and also really good at sex.
Sirius swallowed.
So, do you think I'm pretty?
Yeah,
Remus nodded.
I said it before.
I thought you might have just been doing sex talk.
Oh,
Remus swallows.
were you just doing sex talk?
No,
Sirius shakes his head.
No, it was all honest, but girls often make up sex talk, so.
I'm not a girl.
Yeah, I know.
Sirius swallowed.
So you fancy me for real?
Yeah,
Remus nods.
a lot.
Oh,
Remus chewed on his lip.
excuse me.
Sirius muttered and then climbed out of bed. He didn't even stop to put trousers on or anything. Remus listened as he walked over and pulled back the curtains of James's bed.
Oh, Sirius, hey, Merlin, where are your clothes?
Over there, Remus and I had sex.
There was silence for a while before James said back.
What?
Remus and I had sex.
When?
James asked, fucking gobsmacked.
Just then,
Sirius said,
before you came into the room.
What? Why?
It was your idea.
he said defensively.
You said I should just fuck Remus, so I did. I fucked Remus, or rather, he fucked me.
And you just decided to come tell me this, still very naked.
Yeah,
Sirius said.
I think I can still feel his cum inside.
Bloody hell, Sirius, you know he can just get in.
Do you want me to put clothes on?
Merlin, I don't care, just...
He's gay, you know.
Remus heard Sirius shuffle into the bed.
Said he likes me.
Wow, really?
James gasped.
I had no fucking idea. It's not like he stares at you longingly or anything.
Oh,
Sirius mumbled.
I think I'm homophobic, by the way.
Sorry.
Yeah, he said he kissed Pete, and that made me feel kind of nauseous.
There was another long stretch of silence. And then from his own bed, Peter muttered.
You owe me 20 galleons, James.
Fuck.
James muttered, drawing the curtains around them.
Look, Sirius, you're not homophobic.
Yes I am.
Sirius said in defense.
Why else would I get mad about Remus getting involved with other blokes?
Oh, Sirius.
James sighed and cast a silencing charm around them. Remus is startled awake by the curtains swishing back. Not that he slept very deeply, just a little nap. He's still in Sirius's bed. He was too anxious to move. Now that he sees Sirius standing there, still very naked, he feels like he should have left. Sirius lifts up the corner of his blanket and slides under, closing the curtain around them before casting another silencing charm. He tugs at the sheet and gestures for Remus to get under, and then they both lie there again, shoulder to shoulder, staring at the roof.
You okay?
Remus asks after a long silence. He feels so awkward about it.
Yep.
Sirius nods.
Just trying to figure out the least scary way to ask you to be my boyfriend.
Remus's heart falls out from under him.
What?
Oh,
Sirius mutters.
I guess I just did, didn't I?
Are you serious?
Remus gasps, turning to look at him. Sirius smirks and turns his head slowly to look back at Remus.
Don't answer that.
He mutters.
Yeah.
Sirius nods, genuinity behind his pretty pale eyes.
Yeah, James told me I'm gay.
What?
Remus gaped.
What do you mean he told you you were gay?
Sirius shrugged.
Like, I've been gay this whole time, and I really like you. I just didn't know it is all. I thought I was homophobic, can you believe that? James just made me realize I was jealous.
Jealous of Peter?
Yes, never look at him again, please.
Sirius said sternly. Remus furrowed his brow, looking at Sirius in shock. Sirius broke into a grin.
I'm kidding, but really I did get jealous. I'm jealous about you a lot. It's why I get so angry at you sometimes.
Oh.
Remus swallowed.
That?
Yeah.
Sirius smiled, laughing at himself softly.
It's stupid. I'm stupid.
You're not.
Remus corrects.
You're really smart. You're the smartest person I know. Sometimes this stuff is just really hard, I get it, I know.
He blushes, and it's fucking adorable. It's always adorable.
You're so sweet, Mooney.
Sirius hums, kissing Remus's shoulder.
So will you?
Will I what?
Be mine.
He asks.
Oh.
Remus's heart is racing. It's going so fast, beating so hard he can feel it in his throat.
Yes, fuck yes, please.
Sirius breaks out into the most brilliant smile before rolling over and wrapping himself around Remus.
Yay.
Remus hugs him back, entangling their legs together and hoping they never have to untangle.
You really mean it?
Yeah.
Sirius hums, pressing his lips to Remus's skin a few times.
Oh, I was so crazy for not knowing it, Moonshine. I'm mental about you.
Remus feels ecstatic.
I'm mental about you too, sweetheart.
Oh, I really like that.
Sirius mused.
I really like you.
Remus chuckled.
Okay, sweetheart.
Sirius hums, content, snuggling closer into Remus's side.
God, imagine my mother now. Not just shagging an unregistered werewolf bloke, but now he's my boyfriend.
She'd have a heart attack.
Good.
Sirius smiled.
Oh, I love when everything just comes together like this. James is so excited. He owes Pete a lot of money. They've been betting on us for ages.
Remus snorts.
I think Pete's been cheating then. He's known I'm into you for ages.
Sirius snorts.
Of course he is.
He lifts his head to kiss Remus sweetly.
Let me take you out on a date, Mooney baby.
Remus melted, sighing against Sirius's lips.
Yeah, please.
Oh, I'm gonna woo you so hard you won't even know what hit you.
Sirius smiled.
And then we're gonna shag so much again, because I didn't know shagging was actually fun.
Remus snorts and kissed Sirius some more.
I did. I was just waiting for you to prove it.
The way that Sirius swooned made Remus feel like he was on top of the fucking world. Finite. Thanks for listening to this text-to-speech podfic, composed by Burning Aurora and Caliana.